Hello, StarCraft fans! It is time for another day of the round of 16 with the StarCastTV Star League Season 2. This time, it's going to be a TVP. I've been really looking forward to seeing this particular matchup because I think Mini is probably the best Protoss player on the planet right now. However, Sharp is on a heater. He had his ASL 4 run, did really well. And I think he's got a shot to take down Mini here, but Mini, he's just so good in tournament settings. He always goes very far. So I think this is going to be a tough opponent. Let's get a rundown of how the round of 16 has gone so far. Of course, in the top side, we have what I think is going to be the match of the tournament, which is going to be Hero versus Snow. But in the bottom side, we've got a lot of Terran and Protoss matches coming up. We've got Mini versus Sharp. That's coming up today. We've got Best versus Rush. We've got Royal versus Noob. And even though Royal versus Noob looks like it's just going to be Royal domination most likely, I know Noob has been playing quite consistently. I see his stream often on Team Liquid. So I think there is a chance that Noob could take him down. But like I said, today is the match I've been looking forward to. Let's look at the maps for today. What are the picks going to be? As expected, Blitz picked by Mini here. No shocker there to see a Protoss pick that. Retro, no shocker to see that get picked either. I think Sharp is very strong on Retro, and in general, I really do like TVP. And then, of course, if we get to Game 3, Apocalypse. Sharp looked good on Apocalypse also, but that map is really strong for carriers, so we'll see. With all that said, let's get into Game 1. It will be Blitz between Mini and Sharp. And in the top right, our red Protoss, it is Mini. And meanwhile, in the bottom right, we do have our blue Terran. It is Sharp. And you know, Team Liquid had a thread up there talking about how strong Sharp has been these days. I'll admit, I was not a believer. I was definitely one of those players, or one of those observers thinking, you gotta prove it to me, Sharp. And so far, he's really done a good job at proving it. Like, he's definitely at the top tier caliber now, playing extremely well. Getting to top 4 is no joke. And what I liked about his run in the ASL is he played a lot of different builds. So when we see these games today, I expect to see a variety of builds here from him. As expected, this is going to be a forward gate from Mini. Blitz, there's like almost no reason to not forward gate here. I mean, it's just so incredibly strong. I personally like when Protoss proxies it at their natural, and I'm not saying that as like, oh, it's easier to defend because, you know, it's a farther distance, but I think it's deceivingly strong and can still get a lot of damage done. Oftentimes I see Terran players just react by going 1 racks, and if they continuously build Zealots, actually not easy to get your natural. Now Mini coming in here, this was a 10 racks by the way for Sharp, and most likely going to have the gas steal. We're getting close to not having a steal. Okay, there it is. Sharp almost had the money to prevent that from going down. But I think Sharp should suspect something fishy is going on, because a 134 gas steal is cutting it kind of close, really. Especially when Terran spawn on the right side with the optimal boosting. And he's going to scout that gateway immediately now. What you should do here is try and deal damage to that pylon. A single SCV can deal a ton of damage over time. And it forces the second Zealot or the third Zealot to sit back and deal with it. You can't just rally across the map, and Sharp is doing exactly what you should do. Second rack's coming down. I really love it, and it was really fast. So his Marine count is going to be extremely high, really quickly. And I wonder how Mini will react. Generally, when I face this type of play, they tend to just go into a normal follow-up with gas and cybernetics, and that's exactly what we see here. First Zealot on the move. With this SimCity set up like this, I don't think this is going to do much damage. There has been no SCVs pulled off the mineral line to deal with the assimilator at all. Zealot? Right. Ooh, we got in there. Doesn't really get much damage, though. He's taking just a tiny bit of damage. Oh, good micro. That probe, not sure how much health it has. Looks like it had quite a bit as it didn't get taken out. That SCV at the gateway is still alive. Microed away, and now it's going back to that pylon. I mean, that pylon may actually die. Like I said, a single SCV does a ton of damage. The 2 Raxes are done now. There's 3 Marines out. Good micro from the SCVs and the Marines. Snipes down that probe. May lose 1 Marine here. Oh. Okay, he lost 1, but he kills the Zealot, and the other Zealot's really low. Actually, Mini might be in trouble, because that Zealot is so low that actually I think 6 Marines can just push and kill this gate. No way he engages right here, does he? Okay, good stutter step micro. Takes down 1 of the Marines. Can he get another one? He desperately needs to get at least 1 more. Preferably get both of those at the bottom side, but he doesn't get either of them, and that means that these 5 Marines, 3 SCVs can actually deal a lot of damage to this gateway. It might actually die. Okay, or kill the pylon. Alright. Now, I think the SCV never went across the map, so he's not sure what the follow-up is from Mini. But if he knew that Mini didn't have a gateway, he would move across the map immediately. I think Mini kind of just started. Not necessarily just started, but I don't think it's done. Yeah, it's not done. And if he goes right now, this could do some serious damage. Look at this. Mini even thinks that that could be a possible scenario, so he puts down a preemptive shield battery. I'm surprised Sharp isn't moving out at all. Instead, he's just holding his ramp here. And the probe spots it. Critical scout right there with the probe to see that no Marines are actually coming. And this was pretty much a perfect hold. He didn't overbuild Marines. I think building 9 is probably, you know, it's a lot, right? But I think he had to do it in this particular scenario. And now, he's going to have control over the map. Of course, his tech is late, but if we look at his worker count, 25 to 23, a lot of times in Protoss versus Terran, Protoss is up workers at this point. The fact that Sharp is already up 3 workers is a huge win for him. Now, of course, you don't really want 9 Marines. Like, it doesn't really help you at all. I guess it can help versus the Reaver, but I think Sharp is going to suicide these 6 Marines, try and snipe some probes if he can. And if he loses the Marines, well, who cares, right? He's saving money by not having to build an additional depot for these 6 Marines. Now, Sharp has a ton of resources because his gas was delayed so long. First factory coming down. Probably going to see a second factory come down. That seems to be the common follow-up. SCV gets taken down finally. Marines are going to engage here, but I think the goons are going to have range pretty soon. And I think he was hoping he could snipe some probes, or at least force a probe transfer off those minerals. But not going to be the case, and in the end, I can't imagine these Marines doing any damage. That's probably an... Ooh, that is a 3rd factory. The way it was positioned, I was like, that doesn't look like an eBay positioned, like a normal eBay positioning. So that is 3 factories on 1 base. And I feel like we've seen players like Royal make moves like this, where they really rush a 3rd factory. Now, of course, this is a unique scenario. A 4th factory! What the heck? He doesn't even have a completed factory yet. He's going straight into the 4th factory. I mean, that's what happens when you take no damage to Zealots. Your gas is delayed this long, and you get your natural pretty much up instantly. I like what he's done with the racks, floating it across the map. He's going to scout the tech from Mini right here. Spots Robo. I do not see an observatory anywhere. Don't see robotics. Looks like that probe is going to set up for the not the robotics, the support bay or the observatory. Yep, there is the support bay as expected, but Sharp up 7 workers already. I mean, that is crazy. Terran's econ is bananas right now. I think if Sharp can hold the Reaver push, not the Reaver push, the Reaver drop easily, he could definitely 7-fact hiding. And I don't think there would be any possibility of Mini holding it. I guess it is Blitz where it is hard to get across the tiny pathway, but he's just so far ahead in econ that it feels like a 7-fact timing would be really good. Now, Shuttle is already out. Support bay kind of just finished. Yeah, there's no way that a Reaver could be out in time. And it looks like the 3rd base is going to be at mid-right. Now, that is a base that cannot really be taken down easily. Okay, 2 tanks, 5 goons. Oh, Mini's going for it. He's going to most likely get 1. Okay, gets 1. We're looking interesting to see if there's any tech. There's gas in the natural, but he's not mining it, but I didn't see any additional gateways. Didn't see Citadel, didn't see Fort. Oh, he lifted his command center! Not like this! Well, you know, when you see stuff like that, as a lower tier player myself, makes you not feel so bad when you make mistakes like that. Good micro here from Mini to completely avoid all the mines. Loses none of the terrains. That was really well done. And he is taking mid-right. That is a Nexus, and that shuttle should have a Reaver loaded up. Observatory coming in. Stargate already for Mini. I guess that's why he was taking mid-right. He wants to go carriers. He knows that that base is super hard to defend, or super hard to attack, I mean. And that means the onus is going to be on Sharp to figure out what's going on. If carriers get out, carriers are crazy on Blitz. Mine triggers, but doesn't get any connections. Now, I remember in the main that there was a canceled building for Sharp. I think he canceled the Academy in favor of getting an arm race. Oh, as I said, I just realized the scan went off. Anyways, Goon Reaver Shot prevents this attack from making any headway. Not sure exactly what Sharp scanned, but I would probably imagine he scanned the main base and probably saw those carriers, or sorry, probably saw that Stargate and Cybernetics spinning. So I'm pretty sure he knows that he's now facing carriers. Now, what can you do versus this? Well, you can all in it, which I think if Sharp didn't lift his main base, could have been a really solid move. You can take a third base. He's already got 4 factories, so he definitely can take the third base, and I feel like he can take it really easily. I mean, look how many tanks there are. He's got 1 billion tanks. So I don't see a command center. I don't see starport for faster upgrades. I don't see more factories. To me, it looks like Mini has already gotten back into this game, and it's going to be a tough situation for Sharp because I don't see how he punishes this anymore. I think a 5th factory for him now, but it's really hard to get through the pathways as Blitz. So it's going to take a while for him to get through. I think with the 7th fact, he could just flood units and overwhelm. But with 5, not too sure about that. Meanwhile, as crews are showing, the mid-right base is basically fully saturated and up and running. That is a lot of tanks. However, he is kind of just sitting on a low SCV count. I mean, 47 SCVs, yes, that's fine for 2 bases, but a lot of times Terran players build additional SCVs in preparation of taking the 3rd base, but I don't see that happening here. Double Stargate, 2 carriers should be out pretty soon. Forge is coming in, and I still don't think I saw Citadel. Wasn't really paying close attention, but I don't think I saw that. So the ground army is really not that strong. And Sharp is just the way he's moving his army makes me think he's going to attack. +1 weapon kicking in. I didn't see a starport in Sharp's main, so I don't think that +2 weapon is going to be anytime soon. This looks like it's going to be a 1-1 move. There's the 2 carriers, and, you know, generally I would say 2 carriers are not very scary, but on this map where you can't engage them ever, I feel like 2 is actually already a scary amount. And now you can see why it's hard to get across these bridges. The single Reaver is buying so much time. I mean, there's not even goons to support it. It's literally just 1 Reaver, not even Zealot soaking shots, and it's still hard to get across. Now, one of the benefits of this 3rd base, like I said, it's hard to attack, but also, Terran can't even range that assimilator, I don't think. Definitely can't range those minerals at the top right side. He can range those, of course, but, you know, the faraway minerals can't do anything about it. Supplies are pretty close, you know, 140, 128. Oh, Vulture backstab. Doesn't find any success right there. But, okay, here we go. No, not going to engage. And this is just taking so long to get across the map. Sharp, where's his 3rd command center, man? Like, I keep looking at the mini-map expecting to see it, and it's just not there. Looking at the factory count. Pretty low. Okay, maybe we're going to have the engagement here. Ooh, that is a lot of tanks. Shuttle's going to get taken down. Reaver gets immediately blown up. Okay. Actually, Sharp has a huge army right now. and killing those 2 Reavers, or 1 Reaver, whatever it was. Now, if he pulls some SCVs, I think he can turret push and maybe be able to bust the natural. Either way, the ground army is still decently strong. Got a random task force over on the left side. Mini, I'm realizing, has no vision of the map, so he's probably thinking, dude, you don't have a third base? Maybe you have a third base at bottom left. Probably that's what that army is over there for. But he doesn't even send it to the corner. So I'm not sure exactly what this is. Oh, carrier, 4 carriers? 4 carriers will just obliterate this army. And that means that this army that's across the map from Sharp is kind of stuck, because I don't think reinforcements are going to get across the map. You can see how strong these 4 carriers are. You shall not pass, sir. You are not going to get by. And he's going to be obligated to turn a lot of his Goliaths around just to help transport some of these units across. But I don't even think this is enough. Oh, is there another Reaver in here? Tank falls. Double Reaver, 4 carriers. Another tank's gonna die. That is a lot of Goliaths at the bottom side. Can he snipe a carrier? It's getting dangerously low. Ooh, those Reavers might be stuck now. I think you overstayed your welcome, man. And he definitely did. But before they die, they get off another big hit. Now, I see that the push is kind of stagnated. Doesn't really seem like it made much headway at the natural. And there's not that many turrets either. I don't think this is going to make it across. I really don't. There's not a lot of interceptors though, so maybe they can. Cruiser pointing out +1 weapon is done. It looks like finally he made some headway on this natural. Getting close to the mineral line now. 1-1 is kicked in. 4 carriers out though, man. It's soon going to be 6. And Sharp has just now started his command center or landed his command center. I feel like it must be landed. Yeah, he built it in his main and landed. So he's going to have some econ coming in. And actually, these 2 tanks are in range of the probe line now. Goodbye. That was a huge hit. 52 workers down to 47 in a single shot. Shuttle gets taken down, and if there was a Reaver in there, that's a massive loss. All of a sudden, Sharp is doing big damage now, and we're at 15.5 minutes into the game. Yes, Mini has a third base, but that third base doesn't have that many patches. Looking at the rally point, it's just pure Goliath, man. It is so many Goliaths. But Mini's going to run out of money unless he does something about this third base from Sharp. Sharp. That random army over there, man. What are you doing? Help! Help your boys! Help the carriers! No. Sharp really wants this position because you can see that those mineral patches are within range of siege mode. That's why he's trying to position there. But every time he gets close, carriers are just going to pick them off. And a lot of the tanks are across the map. This could be a really good combo. Goons and Zealots on the left side with Goliaths on the, or with carriers on the right side. The 2 tanks pop out in the nick of time, and I don't think this will work anymore. Zealots soak up a lot of mines, but is okay. Takes down one of the tanks. This is getting weird. There's not a lot on the ground, but look at these carriers just do work. It's now almost a 30 supply lead. Sharp has to turn back his entire army. Well, that's not true, not his entire army, but a decent chunk of his army. Carriers, I don't think are going to kill this command center. But this is getting wild. Forced lift. Yeah. Players are going to really start feeling the impact of this pretty soon, because Mini's basically mining on 1 base. eBay dies, that's a big win. And this is the problem with carriers on Blitz, is the carriers can go into the main and start picking off depots, armories, factories. And what can you do about it? If you leave your third base, then they go to the third base and kill that. It's a nightmare to deal with. Oh, a big shot with the probes, or onto the probes, killed a bunch of workers there. Well, how do you engage this as Terran? I don't think actually Sharp can win the battle with just Goliaths. The carriers are just going to bounce back and forth over and over and over. And he's not able to mine his third base because of that. And I feel like the only move here you can make is to go Wraith. But I don't think there's a starport. I don't remember seeing a starport anywhere. Yeah, there's still no starport. Now look at how much damage those tanks did. Look at the worker count. It's 20, it's 18. Those two tanks at the top, I didn't even see it. Got shots on the probes at the top. 18 probes versus 40 SCVs. But Sharp is long distance mining his third base. He can't mine there. It's just too hard. If he overcommits his defense there, this is what's gonna happen. There's gonna be 8 carriers with double shuttle. Hopefully those are Dragoons. Oh no, there's Zealots. 8 carriers, dude. I saw Starport go down at bottom at the middle. So there's gonna be Cloak. But I don't know if he's gonna have them in time. I mean, 8 carriers deal a lot of damage. There goes a fact. Look how fast the factory dies. If he can get the armory, it's at the corner. He doesn't see it. Oh, if he can see it, just pick that off, man, and then escape. Starport's still not done just yet. Tanks are dying. Goliaths are dying. Mini's retreating though. Why? I feel like he could kill everything. I don't think there's critical mass Goliaths here. Like, yes, there are Goliaths, but there's definitely not enough to deal with the carriers. Okay, and then look at this. He just goes over, kills the third base, and now he can leave. Oh, it's such a nightmare strategy. It's so painful to watch. The Starports are done though. Sharp does have some resources at his natural. But Mini, he's now mining that bottom side of the mineral. So he still has Econ. Mini has 1 billion gas, by the way. So he can definitely afford observers. But I don't see a single observer for him. Hopefully he can get a couple out, because if he can get something out like 5, I don't think there's any world where the race can overwhelm it. Look at this. Not a single carrier has died. There's only, what, 7 Goliaths remaining? And the Starports are right here, man. If he continues to push forward, he's gonna find them. Dude. But there's no observer. The Cloak started a decent amount of time ago. He could definitely complete it pretty soon. If I was Mini here, I'd be thinking like, dude, you're still engaging with 3 Goliaths. Like, they can't win. What are you waiting for? Like, why is there no GG? I mean, you must be hiding Wraith, because there's no way this low Goliath count can ever win. But he still doesn't suspect it. I still don't see a single observer. Mini, not like this, man. Please. Well, he sees the Starport. Interceptors are now on top of it. He's focusing it down, but he doesn't see an add-on, so he doesn't think that there's Cloak, but there actually is. Now he sees that there's a second Starport. Another Wraith comes out, and he goes into Cloak, and there's nothing. There's no observers. 1 carrier's gone. Mini, you had it. 2 carriers. 3. Well, even if the carriers die, okay, there's still a command center left over. Sharp will be able to long distance mine. 3 carriers gone. He's gonna get all of them, man. I can't believe he's gonna get every single one. And there's not even an observer en route. Maybe there's a cannon to save the day. Oh, that carrier is so low. Where's the cannon? Not even a cannon. Oh, he's scrambling to get a cannon up. That carrier's dead. And it's 1, oh my gosh, it's 1 carrier left over. That is painful to watch. Mini, he had it. Oh my gosh, he's, you know, Mini is one of the most emotional players I've ever seen. This is one of those games where I would like to see his player cam, because you know he is not happy about this. And this is where all his probes are. Like, he's not even long distance mining the natural. He has 14 probes, and that's what, like 5 patches over there? It's really not that many. So he has almost no income. He can't build ground. He can barely build interceptors. He can't even build another carrier. So it's literally just 1 carrier, and 1 carrier is not going to be enough. Now Sharp can float over his command center and start mining the third base. And look at it. I don't even know if, is there enough DPS to take down this tank? Oh, that's a huge hit. And with the tank being in range of the mineral line, where does he mine now? He can't mine anymore. 3 Dragoons, but they can't help. I can't believe Sharp is going to win this. This was unbelievable. 3 goons into the main. Or 4, okay, 4 goons. I mean, he's doing what he can. He's trying to draw the Goliaths away so he can snipe this tank. And it looks like he's going to accomplish that. You got to be careful, because these 8 Goliaths can beat the goons. Okay, well, he's going to get the tank. I feel like that's mission accomplished. Now he can at least start mining again. But there's, like I said, there's not a lot of mineral patches over here. So how much money can he really even get from these patches? He didn't even transfer them over yet. Well, these goons are still doing work. He's building vultures, which you don't really necessarily think about building versus goons. But when you know this guy doesn't have a single observer, they're actually really strong in this particular scenario. Goliaths are going to engage. This is the best engagement that the Dragoons could get. They're on high ground. They have a carrier, but it's dealing with that vulture. Help him out, bro! Instead, the goons die before the carrier even helps at all. He's going to trade to snipe some of these SCVs, but there's 25 SCVs here. And there it is, GG. I can't believe Mini ended up losing that game. That was an unreal comeback from Sharp there. Those 4 Wraiths, generally 4 Wraiths don't have that high of a DPS, but when there's no detection and you're in Terran's base, oh my gosh, it takes you so long to get back to safety. So, a little bit of a misstep there from Mini in terms of, you know, overcommitting with the carriers and obviously not building an observer. But I still like his chances in game 2 because other than that, I mean, he was crushing it. I like the build order, the third base at the mid right. I mean, it was obviously a planned out build. He knew that it was going to be hard to go carriers on 3 bases if the third base is out in the center of the map somewhere. So now it's going to be Retro, and Cruiser is Burb a second, but I'm sure he'll be back in just a moment. And like I said, this is definitely a good map for Terran. I feel like we saw, was it Sharp versus Best on this map in the last ASL? Can't remember exactly who it was, but it was definitely Sharp at top right, and he used top middle as a stepping stone to make a big push toward top left. So if he can get a spawn like that again, I'm gonna actually probably favor Sharp here because that's just such a strong style on this map. And Cruiser just told me he's back, so let's get into game 2. See if Sharp can take it 2-0 or if Mini can bring it back to 1-1. Alrighty, in the bottom left, we do have Sharp. And in the bottom right, we do have Mini, and this is pretty much the scenario that I was just mentioning. Instead of it being top spawns, it's bottom spawns, and Sharp's going to have a really strong push if he tries to exploit that. Go through the bottom, can expand behind it. Really hard for Protoss to engage. In fact, kind of the only option Protoss has is to just counter or just try and, you know, shuttle bomb relentlessly, trying to whittle down the tank count. And we know Mini does like to go shuttles. That could definitely be a play from him. But if I'm Mini here, I think the fact that Sharp 2-Rax killed the gate and then didn't even make an attempt to go across the map with him makes me feel like maybe Sharp's playing a little bit too passive in the early game. And because of that, I want to see the 12 Nexus. I want to see the big econ just tell this Terran player that, oh, you want to play a macro game? Well, let's play a macro game, buddy. I'm going to get the biggest macro I can get. And I do not see a probe being sent out. That means that it is going to be the 12 Nexus. And what is Sharp going to do in response? Hopefully it's an 11 gas. Because I think 11 gas is very powerful versus 12 Nexus. Interesting Rax placement. It's not near the command center, but also not near the ramp. So, okay, and it was an 11 gas, by the way. Just saw that go down, and it was really quick, like a 133 gas. So that is really well done from Sharp. It's really tough to get a 133 gas on the left side, so he's really nailing his boosting. And there is the 12 Nexus, and Probe is going to go which way? Looks like he is going vertical, and that means that he's most likely going to find Sharp last. And what about Sharp? Where is he going? Looks like he's also going vertical. Oh, nope. Gonna be looping around towards the right side. And now, not only does he get an 11 gas opener into a 12 Nexus, he finds Mini first. He's gonna have a lot of options here. He could pull. He could do the style that I like, which is build one Marine, send it across, try and do some damage with it, kill probe in the main or in the natural. Or he could go into a Vulture and, you know, build a lot of Marines and try and make a pull. In the main of Mini, there's no gas just yet. There's no second gate either. This is an interesting follow-up. He hasn't really committed to anything. There's the gas, okay. Cross Scout now from Mini. And it looks like, actually, Sharp is doing the move I like, which is the one Marine harassment. Another Marine at the natural. Well, he is continuing to build a couple more Marines, so maybe he will commit to a pull. Alright, let's see if he can get a kill. I mean, it would be unlikely at this level of play to get a kill. But he does prevent mining. Okay, okay, that was a big jab right to the face. SCV, you overstayed your welcome. And Marine is going to be pushed back. In Sharp's main, okay, Vulture coming down. No add-on. So he's probably going to try and run by here. Try and get some damage in the natural. Marine making sure that nothing gets through. Zealot at the top, or Zealot at the bottom, not getting through. Look at that, Forge as a follow-up. Alright. And Vulture is taking the long way around. I guess he suspects that the Zealot's on hold position. And... oh, he actually finds that probe. He's going to kill it. Alright, that's nice. But look at the discrepancy in workers. Holy smokes. 19 to 25. I mean, this is a huge lead for Protoss right now. Terran needs to do something to get back into this game. You know, not that I know Korean fluently, but I feel like I watched a translated video that said Flash said something like, if you don't damage a 12 Nexus, like, you're just dead, man. Like, so he needs to do something. Whether it's a starport or something to get damage done. But instead it looks like it may actually be triple command center. Because I see that SCV setting up at mid left. Now you can do this. But it is very, very flimsy. You don't have that many units. It's kind of really hard to defend if they go straight Robo, 3-gate Dragoon, which is what we're seeing right here. This may actually come back to bite Sharp. I don't know if you can actually hold this with just Vultures in mind. Right. Not willing to command that third command center. Pretty much just started. In Sharp's main, he needs to get an eBay. He doesn't know what the follow-up is. I mean, it could be DT. I mean, that would be very risky when you know Terran's going mines. But he definitely needs to get something to deal with potential DT drop or Reaver. I'm gonna guess that that's an eBay in the main. I feel like if you triple command center and go one factory starport, I'll just say this. You deserve whatever you get. Because that is... I don't think it gets any greedier than that. You have absolutely nothing to defend. What are you going to do? Build a Wraith for some DPS? Well, critically for Sharp, third base still has gone unscouted. Because it was a Forge, you know, actually, these cannons are quite expensive. He's got a cannon at his main, cannon at his natural. He's playing like there could be a drop because, you know, there's really only two options. If it's not a drop, it's got to be a third command center. So, you know, you definitely don't want to take damage to drops, which is why you see the goons in position. But now that nothing has happened, well, I guess not just yet would be there would be a drop, but in the next 20 seconds there could be a drop. Now that shuttle, is there anything actually in it? Is the question I have. Did he rush Reaver? I don't remember seeing a Reaver. Okay, that is a lot of damage. Actually, that shuttle's almost dead already, so that was a big mistake from Mini, man. He doesn't get any damage done. Third base is up and running for Sharp, like he's already transferred SCBs. And the shuttle's not going to move over there. And, okay, I think this is a good move. Needs to find that. Needs to find it. Oh, he missed it! How does he miss it? Oh my gosh! Wow, how did that happen? Okay, well still, whatever's in this shuttle, I mean, clearly something is in it because it's with the army now, but he doesn't suspect that top left is taken. I cannot believe it. Oh my gosh, Sharp is getting away with absolute murder here. Insane murder. Does he see it? Come on, you gotta see it, man. He doesn't even see the SCV on the ramp. How does this happen? No! He's going to top left because he thinks there must be a hidden base up there. Oh my gosh. Look, nothing there. He's gonna go all the way across top right because he thinks there must be a hidden base. This guy didn't drop me. He didn't do a timing. He didn't rush upgrade. Oh, I guess he didn't go far enough to check for upgrades, but like the fact that there was no Goliath with the tanks probably makes him believe that there's no armory either. Oh my gosh, this is devastating for Mini. He's still fine, but I mean, it feels like that would have been a free kill for him. Behind this, he is taking a third base at bottom middle. So he's going to match the econ pretty soon. In his main, I don't think the gateway count is that high right now. It's probably at like 4 or 5. I still don't think there was a Reaver in that shuttle because that shuttle was out so quick. How does the Observer also miss it? This is one of the most unlucky games I've ever seen for a Protoss here. He may even eat these mines. Oh no. Okay, luckily that doesn't connect. Okay, yes. That one does though. And that means that Sharp is going to respond and there's nothing he can do about this anymore. What is MIDI gonna do? He's tearing us up workers now. Citadel just now starting. 9-minute Citadel. I mean, that's really late. So there's no chance for Arbors. It has to be, again, Gateway Man with Storm or something along those lines. Carriers are way too late because Terran has massive econ. I don't see how you get to carriers at this point. I don't think Gateway Man really wins at pro level. So I'm going to say the only option here he has is to maybe just go into double robo, try and pray that he can get some really good shuttle bombs off. Oh no, he's upgrading his cybernetics. Is it really going to be carriers? He's got a pylon set up like it's going to start building stargates. Well, we'll see how this works out. I mean, the gateway count is just so low, dude. Like, if Sharp scans this and he sees 5 gate, he's going to know that it's carriers, even if he doesn't scout the stargates. Another scan goes off, not sure exactly where it was. Reaver unloads this time. Looks like that shuttle actually had some Reavers loaded up. But Sharp has got everything he needs right now. He's got massive econ, 65 workers. He just needs to flood factories. That's all he has to do. I like what Mini's doing in response is he's mass expanding. Okay, there's 8 factories. All right, that's pretty much perfect at this point. Triple add-on. Starport's done, so he's going to have his upgrades coming in. And the turret ring is set up all over the map so that Reavers can't get in. Science facility coming in. So it is going to be heavy upgrades for Terran. I think Terran can max in like 1.5 minutes. Oh, we've got an engagement at mid-left. That is going to get blown up. And, okay, this is what Mini needs to get back in this game. Reavers on the high ground. No Goliaths here to shut down the shuttle. That's great. Needs to get rid of these turrets and needs to get a big shot on the SCV line. Please hit the SCVs. Either way, this is really hard to attack into as Terran. Yes, Siege is, huge range, but still hard to get up the ramp. SCVs evac at the latest moment. So that's well done from Sharp. Saves basically everything. Loses what looks like 4 SCVs. I mean, that's nothing at this point. And it's buying Mini time to get his carrier count up. He really needs to buy time. I mean, it's triple Stargate, dude. That's going to turn into 3, 6, 9 really quick. But he's still got to buy time. Triple command center is no joke. Terran will max so quickly, despite the damage being done. I like how Mini is transferring workers up to top right. I like that Sharp is respecting that another drop could be coming soon. And look at this, he's actually attacking at the same time. This may be an overstep though. Half of his army is at mid left. There's actually not a left. Oh my gosh, probe transfer. Looks like we missed probably a huge hit. Yeah, a lot of probes die. Mini in response, he's gonna counter mid left, but he doesn't know that Sharp did not transfer his army at all from this position. So these units, they're definitely not gonna get through. There's no chance of them getting through. Don't commit. Do not commit. Reaver. Reaver! Don't go in there, man. Loses one of them. Ends up saving one of them. All right. I think he's still okay. He's down workers. He's down supply, but he is buying time. We still don't know if Sharp knows about the Stargates. Is the big issue. We can see that there's 5 bases up and running. Ground army is really lackluster for Mini. I mean, it's a lot of goons, but there's no storm. The Reaver just died also. Bottom middle is breached. Cruiser keep pointing out the gateway count. It's still extremely low. What is Mini gonna attack, man? I mean, he's got to do. I guess he doesn't necessarily have to attack. I mean, he has 5 bases, right? Like, Sharp is the one that has to get some damage done. Mini's worker count is kind of low on 49, but as long as Mini just stalls the game, if he can get up into 9 carriers, I mean, we could have another situation like on Blitz, where how do the Goliaths ever engage? You know, Retro's a little different in the sense that, of course, the middle of the map is very open, but there's still a lot of ledges on Retro. There's still a lot of high ground that you can exploit as Terran. And this army from Terran, I mean, there's not that many Goliaths. So he may have misread the situation. What is it? It's 7 Goliaths? That's not that many. However, look at this. Mini's attacking as Terran moves out, and this is exactly what he needs to do. There is no defense here. 1 tank, 3 mines, that's nothing. Here we go. Zealots on the ramp and the SCV line. Reaver unloads. Once again, this is going to be hard to deal with as Terran. These vultures are getting eaten up by the dragoons on the top side. And once again, like I said, this is all you need to do as Mini. You can lose some units here and there. Just buy time. Looks like that Reaver is going to fall along with the shuttle. Okay. He does escape with some dragoons, so it's still fine. Carry count is at 6 though, and look at Mini's income. I mean, he's got almost 2k minerals. He's got a lot of gas. So he can definitely afford to build carriers. What is this? 9 factories from Sharp? So a lot of production. He's almost maxed also, but I'm getting worried that the window of opportunity to make a move is slowly dwindling. Now Sharp is going to make a huge attack at mid-right, but I know from experience, attacking up into high ground is not the easiest. Okay, never mind. He's going to attack the natural. I think this is a smart move. Definitely want to attack here. You've got buildable terrain. You can easily take down the natural. You don't need to commit towards the main. Just knock down the natural, get these probes, get this nexus, and then put the attention on mid-right. That's exactly what he's done. Branches off some units. Goons setting up like they want to go for another counterattack somewhere. There's a lot of goons in the middle of the map, but no carriers to support them. Still building up that interceptor count. I think we saw carriers 7 and 8 being built, but they're not done just yet. But look at Sharp, he's maxed out, man. He's got his foot on the gas. And like I said, there is buildable terrain here. So I think at this point, you just got to build 1,000,000 turrets and pray that you can cost effectively take down this base. These carriers are out of position though. And Sharp gets right on top of the base. However, here comes the cavalry. There's not enough to... Oh my gosh, that's a big mine hit. Goodbye, goons. And these tanks are going to shred through these goons as they come up the ramp. Look how fast they die. Actually snipes a carrier. That's a big pickoff. 5 carriers definitely a lot easier to deal with than 6. Every carrier is so important here. Shredding those tanks, though. So you can see how hard it is to push up this ramp. There is a lot of Goliaths though, so I don't think Mini can actually hold this. There's just way too many of them. However, if he pushes up like this, the Goliath count, okay, yeah, the Goliath count is still way too high. What is this, like 20 Goliaths? And remember, Sharp rushed +2 weapon. So yeah, he has +2 weapons. So he's got big upgrades. He's going to be shredding these interceptors. This base is dead. Mini has not taken another base, by the way. All he's got is top right. Bottom middle got knocked out, and Sharp is hiding a base. I was starting to wonder if he would take another base, because he needs to have another one versus carriers. The main way that carriers win is they're just so cost effective, you run out of money. And here we go. Mini doing many things. DT carrier as a follow-up. Not going to be able to snipe one of those carriers, I don't think. But there are 7 out on the field, and this is a pretty strong Preuss army. He's now gotten his ground army synced up with the carriers. 147 to 188, but there's a 24 worker gap. So actually, army supplies are really close. Look what I'm seeing on the minimap. Sharp has his army completely split up. If the carriers know that, he can easily pick off half the army at a time. Looks like Sharp knows that, which is why you see him back up. No, actually, he didn't. He's very lucky that Protoss didn't commit there on the back. Instead, Mini's just committing at the front. There's so many Dragoons comboed with the DTs and the carriers. Is Mini doing it? This looks like a repeat of game 1. Like, there's just no answer to the carriers. There's so many Goliaths. A lot of tanks, too. Oh my gosh, these goons are gonna get melted. Oh my gosh, so many goons dying. Big shots from the siege mode. I think Sharp is still okay. He's got +3 weapon. If he loses the command center though, he would not be mining really. His natural would be mined out pretty soon. It's such a nightmare to deal with carriers on high ground like this. Protoss has +2 weapon. I noticed that Protoss does not have armor, which is actually a big deal here. Oh, actually a small counterattack to top right. DT's trying to clean it up. Game is so crazy. Not sure if Sharp realized that there's DTs at top right. We heard a couple of scans go off, but Mini, he's got to save this base, man. If he doesn't save this base, he's not going to be mining. Look at how much damage these carriers are doing. Like, they're killing so many Goliaths. Did he get a carrier? Oh, he got one. He got one. 26 probes now. 24 probes. Probe count is getting lower and lower. Goliath count is getting lower and lower, though. This base is dead. I think those are carriers coming to help top right, so that's going to get cleaned up. But those probes at top right did not transfer. Like, I can see at the top right corner that those are probes clumped up right there. Well, look at Sharp's gas. He has no gas. He can't build any more Goliaths. He's only got 1 SCV on gas at his third base. No SCVs on gas at top middle. Sharp has a lot of money, but he has no gas. The Goliaths are doing a lot of damage, but these 6 carriers... Oh, DT's in the main? No, DT's at the bottom side would do work. I don't think he'll suspect... Oh my gosh. Is Mini really going to do this? DT carrier for the win? This third base is dead. He can't hold it. Look at the supply. It's 100 to 82, but there's a 40 worker differential. Terran needs that. They need to be the one that has a 40 army differential in their favor to deal with carrier DT. However, Mini has no money. Look at his money. I'm just now realizing he has 9 minerals. Every interceptor he loses cannot be rebuilt. He's long distance mining his natural. That's the only econ he has. But like I said, the gas is so low for Sharp, he can only build a couple of Goliaths at a time. There are still, what is it, 8 carriers, 7 carriers? The armories are right there, Mini just popped the armories. He saw them at the natural. Maybe he didn't see them. Oh, the carriers are way too deep. One falls. Mid left is dying. Another carrier might die. Another carrier dies. There's still 7 left over, but that was a really big pickoff right there. There's an army movement from Sharp at bottom right, by the way. Yeah, okay, he's killing all the probes. Okay, there is 1 probe. Another carrier dies. Did a turret snipe it? How many interceptors does he have left over? I mean, this is all he has. He has 6 carriers. 6 carriers beats 4 Goliaths, but they only win if he has interceptors. By the way, with +3 weapon, the break point to kill interceptors is 4 shots. So having 4 Goliaths here, anytime an interceptor goes out, as long as all 4 fire at the same interceptor, the interceptor will die. Look at this. Both armories got sniped, so no possibility to build any more Goliaths. Sharp has no gas. I mean, he has 41 gas. He can't even build a Goliath if he wants. Top middle ends up getting scouted, and carriers are on the move. They know that this base is the only one that matters. This is the only mining base for Sharp. He needs to save this, scrambling to build a couple of turrets. But there's only 2. There are 2 Goliaths there. They'll help out a decent amount, but he needs to get everything up here. Like I said, though, Mini's not mining, so if an interceptor dies, he's not getting it back. And I didn't see any die right there, so this base is dead. Goliath bleeds off. Also, you got to start considering that, you know, this is kind of similar to last game, where there's not that many Goliaths out. I was just about to mention it. There could be potential cloaked wraiths on the field. We know that that's not the case, but I like the fact that Mini actually has an observer here. He can't even build another observer, man. Sharp has somehow gotten 500 minerals, 200 gas, so he can build 4 more Goliaths, but that will put him completely all in. He's got 9 Goliaths. 9 Goliaths versus 6 carriers that can't rebuild interceptors? As long as he kites, he should win. But if he tries to fight the carriers out in the center of the map, I think that the carriers will win. Goon dies, so there's nothing on the ground anymore to help. I see some type of mining going down at bottom middle. Looks like Sharp was long distance mining there. Didn't actually fill the command center over there, though. But look at this. I see that carrier only has 3 interceptors. So there's really not that many out. 3, 6, 3, 5. Okay, so we'll just say on average maybe 5. So 30 interceptors. That's it. I don't know. There's a lot of Goliaths out now. What is it, 12? Yeah, that's more than enough Goliaths. There goes an interceptor, there goes another interceptor. Okay, well, Mini, you gotta fight this. You gotta kill these Goliaths. You cannot trade interceptors for, you know, just damage. You gotta actually kill these Goliaths. Interceptors, are they gonna win? There's not that many Goliaths left over. However, the interceptors are getting lower and lower and lower. I don't think he has the DPS anymore. That carrier's completely out of interceptors. How many interceptors are left? Oh my god, it looks like, what, 7 interceptors? There's no way. There's no way Mini can win now. Like I said, the Goliaths have reached the critical mass where they one-shot the interceptors with just 4. And does he really only have 4 left over? That is crazy. That is insane that he has the exact amount he needs to kill interceptors in one volley. 49 gas, 50 gas. He needs another Goliath, man. He needs to spend everything on these Goliaths. 8 SCVs in total left over. 0 workers for Protoss. He got enough gas to build one more Goliath, and I just saw another interceptor die. This is a feels bad, man. Back-to-back games where I thought Mini had it. He had so many carriers. Like, how does he not just end the game when there's 9 carriers in Terran's base? Like, that's unbelievable to me. Like, on top of the factories, even. Now with 6 Goliaths out, there's no chance. It can't be done. There's not enough DPS. Oh, okay, another interceptor dies, and another one dies, and that's going to be all she wrote. This is a heartbreaking way to lose as many back-to-back games. The carriers did immense damage. That one had 22, that one had 33. I mean, crazy damage overall. But in the end, Sharp somehow, some way, ends up taking game 2. This was a really close series. I feel like if we were to replay these games, we could have definitely seen a 2-0 in the reverse fashion. Man, I can't believe that he didn't pick up at least one win on those maps. But well done from Sharp. He eliminates one of the toughest opponents in the entire tournament. Let's get a look at the bracket now, because now Sharp, you know, he's really good at TVT. If Rush or Royal come through the bottom side, I mean, I'm probably favoring Sharp versus then. Of course, Sharp is going to have to get through Hyun first. Even though Sharp's worst matchup is Terran versus Zerg, I feel like he should be on a high enough level to take down Hyun. So if that happens, Sharp, I mean, it could be in his wheelhouse to get a TVT in the semifinals and then potentially make it all the way to the finals if that happens. I mean, he's playing so well that I could really see that happen. So that is it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, if you like the content brought to you by StarCast TV, definitely consider becoming a Patreon supporter. You know, the money goes a long ways towards supporting the channel. We use it to sponsor tournaments like this. We use it to sponsor, you know, one-on-one matches directly between players. Also with the revenge battles, it's also used for that. So definitely consider becoming a Patreon supporter or making a direct donation through PayPal. We would really appreciate that. And once again, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next match, which I think is going to be Rush versus Best.